everybody. My name's Fawn. I'm your Southern California Regional Technician Director, and we are here today to talk about veterinary medical support staff positions, and we're going to define those so that you guys really understand what goes into those positions. Let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about today is this is for California only. Right now, Southern California encompasses all of Southern California, as well as New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas. So for our wonderful people in New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas, this program may not be totally true to what's legal and lawful in your state. We will touch base on the other licenses in the other states, but we're really going to be focused on the California Veterinary Medical Board. So please refer to your veterinary or pharmacy board for more detailed guidance. All right, so we're going to start off with veterinary assistant. The California Veterinary Medical Board defines a veterinary assistant as, and I quote, any person who's not a registered veterinary technician or a licensed veterinarian. So when we talk about how we refer to people in our hospitals with their titles, there's a lot of different titles that this can encompass. Animal care attendant, kennel attendant, vet assistant, tech assistant, those are all falling under the same umbrella. So let's talk about the first one, Certified Veterinary Assistant. CVA for short. CVAs fall under the California Veterinary Medical Board's definition as a veterinary assistant. However, I want to make sure you guys understand they've completed some pretty great coursework. They've done either a 9 or 12-month veterinary assisting program with an accredited AVMA accredited school. They've done 20 to 40 hours of hospital externships. And they've graduated as well as received a certificate from the program they attended. So when we talk about CVAs, CVAs are absolutely a wonderful choice for staffing your hospitals because they're coming in with core knowledge of restraint, client service, how to wrap packs, and how to monitor anesthesia. But remember, CVAs are not allowed to induce anesthesia. But these guys come in with a good foundation, and if they've done an externship with us in Southern California, they've also done their fear-free certification training as well. So please keep that in mind when we're hiring folks. CVA is different from a vet assistant because they have that education under their belt. Okay, next one, registered veterinary technician. To use this title, the person must satisfy one of the 3 educational route requirements, which we're going to talk about in just a second. They must have passed the National Veterinary Technician Examination. Sometimes people call those national boards. They must maintain a current California license. And then with that, maintaining that license, they have to complete 20 hours of race-approved CE every 2 years. So let's talk about some of those options. To be a registered veterinary technician, option 1 is you graduated from an AVMA accredited school or a California VMB approved RVT school. These programs are at least 2 years in length. They either give you an associate's degree after 2 years, or if you're in undergraduate program, it's a 4-year degree to get to a bachelor's. There are also master's programs available, but I found that most people go into their RVT license with either an associate's or a bachelor's to start off. Okay, registered veterinary technician, option 2, the alternative route. This is where we need to be really mindful of where we get our education because not all programs are AVMA accredited. So this route says you have basically 3 choices. Completion of a combination of 20 semester units or 30 quarter units, or 300 hours of specific education, and 4,416 hours of directed clinical practice experience completed in no less than 24 months under the direct supervision of a California licensed veterinarian. So what does this mean? This route is really designed for those who are already working in veterinary medicine. The coursework must be completed within 5 years prior to taking the exam. And the practical experience must be documented with the task list signed off by the veterinarian who's overseen those. So there's a good bit that goes into this, but it's a nice alternative route for those folks that either life took another turn or their college isn't their thing, but this is a great way for you to get your license Some of the programs, the 20 semester units can be through AVMA accredited schools, or those 300 hours. There's a program called VACE, where you can get those 300 hours in 17 weeks. That program is incredibly intense and it's very expensive. So be mindful when you pick your route within option 2 to make sure that, again, that it's AVMA accredited and that it's going to land you where you want to be at the end. Okay, option number 3, licensed in another state. So licensed, certified, or registered as an RVT in another state this means you've taken the exam. The Veterinary Medical Board will deem that as an equivalent as long as you have 4,416 hours of directed clinical practice experience completed in no less than 24 months under the direct supervision of a licensed veterinarian. Now let's talk a minute about licensed veterinary technicians or certified veterinary technicians. You might see these titles LVT, CVT. These are titles in other states outside of California. Unfortunately, unless you possess a valid California RVT license, in California, you would still be classified as a veterinary assistant. Please remember that not all state practices are the same. What we allow RVTs to do in California may not be what other states allow their people to do as well. And some states don't have any licensing for technicians at all yet. So it's good to be mindful of those things when we have people that are transferring in from out of state. Okay, here's a question I get a lot. What is an RVTG? RVTG is reserved for those people who have graduated with a bachelor's in veterinary technology. Now, if they have a bachelor's in another topic, that does not apply. The bachelor's has to be in veterinary technology. So if they have a bachelor's in animal science and they have an associate's in veterinary technology, that doesn't count. That RVTG is reserved for those that did the undergraduate work that was focused on veterinary technology. RVTGs are a wonderful addition to your hospital because they have a 4-year degree. Usually they can take different tracks, small animal, large animal, practice management. This is a wonderful addition to your team. Okay, so let's talk a minute about technician versus nurse. And I know this is kind of a hot topic. Registered veterinary technician is a protected title. We've talked about that. So is nurse. The Veterinary Nursing Initiative is working on changing the title from technician to nurse one state at a time. Until the VNI comes to California and passes, we cannot use the term nurse to refer to any of our veterinary support staff, especially in recruiting ads. Please remember too that technician versus nurse is an emotionally charged topic right now in the veterinary world. Some are all for it and some are completely against it. So it's best for us if we just stick to the letter of the law for what our state wants us to call our support staff. Okay, now let's talk about a really exciting topic. Let's talk about advanced titles for RVTs. Okay, so this is the one that I feel a lot of people know about, VTS, or Veterinary Technician Specialists. Several different academies are offered across the CVTS board. That's the Certification of Veterinary Technician Specialty Board. Most require that you have a current RVT, LVT, CVT license for at least 2 years before you can even begin the application process. Most require 50 to 75 case studies as part of the application process. Most require 20 to 50 hours of relevant CE within 12 months prior as part of the application process. Most VTS exams have a significantly high fail rate. The application and program process can be very expensive. So VTS, incredible amount of knowledge. These are people who are wicked smart and excellent and driven and are able to learn independently. But I want to be really clear here. VTS is not the only way for RVTs to gain advanced titles. VTS, it was designed to offer an advanced career path for those that maybe have no or little college. in the 90s in California, there was this Great Grandfather Act where a lot of people that had the experience could come in and take the exam without the education that they require now. So most VTS academies have no requirement on how you got your RVT, LVT, CVT. As long as you have a current license, have had a current license for 2 years, they consider that enough. Like I mentioned before, it's a great path for those that have little or no college education to attain advanced certification another way. The exams and the application process can be subjective because they're created by the members of the academy of that board. And those exams tend to change every couple of years because remember, those boards are changing every couple of years. All of these academies, all of these VTSs report to the CVTS board. The CVTS board makes the they make the determinations as to if VTS academies are allowed to continue or if they're going to be disbanded. Please know that if there's no sustained growth within a VTS academy, the CVTS board can absolutely revoke the academy, making its VTS invalid. So these are things to be mindful of. I think probably the two that I think are the most popular are the VTS in emergency critical care and the VTS in internal medicine. There's a lot of folks in our industry, same with anesthesia. But if you're picking a VTS that maybe hasn't gotten all that traction yet, I want you to be mindful of this because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of money that goes into this. And so make sure that you get all the information that you need. Don't be shy about calling those academies and talking to their board members and really get a feel for where they are and what their vision is for the future, because this is the work you're going to put in. So you want to make sure that it sticks. Remember too that with VTSs, you have to renew. You have to do a separate CE requirement. So these are things you have to also factor in for your long-term plan. Okay, let's change gears. Degree certificates. I love degree certificates. Why? Because they are yours. Once you're done, that degree certificate, it's yours. It's on your transcripts, no renewing it. It's there, and you can always refer back to it. Some of the master's programs that they have out and about now offer degree certificate opportunities. Now, students don't have to be in the master's program to access these courses. You do have to have graduated from an AVMA accredited school with an associate's degree, and you have to have satisfied the math and English requirements that those master level programs are going to want you to have. But degree certificates are college courses that go on your transcripts, and they're yours. Once you're done, they're yours. And they're advanced veterinary technology certificates that you can share with an employer, share with your current employer, and show them that you're growing. Okay, here's a big one, the Bachelors in Veterinary Technology. This is a great option. I think the large majority of our RVTs have an associate's degree, and I don't know that many folks know that there's online options for getting your bachelor's. There's usually 3 choices like we talked about earlier within the major: small animal, large animal, and practice management. There are several AVMA approved schools that have either online or on-campus options. All right. Our next one is master's degrees. Now, master's degrees are pretty new on the veterinary technology scene, but they are popping up. We have a couple programs now that are all 100% online, and you can get your master's. You can pick your focus. Remember, with these, because the programs are relatively new, they usually pick 1 or 2 focuses. So like, for example, the University of Missouri focuses on a master's in veterinary biomedical technology with an emphasis on surgery and anesthesia, whereas the University of Florida focuses on a master's in veterinary forensics. So make sure that you're taking a look at the colleges and making sure that you've done your bachelor's work to get into these programs and to be successful. But master's degrees are pretty darn exciting in veterinary technology. Okay, guys, now let's talk about pharmacy technicians. I'm really excited about this career path, you guys, because pharmacy technicians can help us really improve safety. Pharmacy technicians are fingerprinted and background checked as part of their license. So there's no need for the veterinary assistant controlled substance permit. It's just not needed for them. They're already being monitored by the pharmacy board and the DOJ as part of their licensing protocols. Pharmacy technicians know all of the laws, rules, and regulations to protect the hospitals and the doctor of record at your hospital facility. They already know how to handle medication safely. They have specialized pharmacological knowledge. Too often in veterinary medicine, we place unqualified personnel in pharmacy, and medication errors are the one area of opportunity in every hospital. This is one place where we can really make a huge impact to patient safety by having the right people, focused people working in this department. So let's talk about, what does it mean to be a pharmacy technician? There's two routes. We're going to talk about the first one. The first one is a registered pharmacy technician, or RPHT. This is a state license. RPHTs can only work in the state that they are licensed for. To be eligible for the exam, you have to have completed at least one of these options. Complete coursework or graduate from a pharmacy technician proof school. They have 9-month programs, which is like the alternative route with RVT, right? And then they also have the associate degree, which is a 2-year degree in pharmacy. Another route is you can have taken and passed the PTCB, or Pharmacy Technician Certification Board exam, with your CPHT, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. If you have your CPHT, you can sit for any state pharmacy board. The next route is the National Healthcare Association of Pharmacy Technician Certification Program, EXCPT for short. Now, here's one thing that I want to be really clear about. When you pass the PTCB or the EXCPT, you're going to have a CPHT. They both give you the same title. They're just different routes to take the test. And the last option to be eligible to sit for the registered pharmacy technician exam is the military. If you have been in the military and received pharmacy technician training, you are 100% eligible to take the exam. So now we talked about CPHTs. Let's dive into that. CPHT, this is a national license. You can work anywhere in the United States with a CPHT. To be eligible to take this exam, you must have completed one of these options: a PTCB recognized education or training program, or the equivalent work experience as a pharmacy technician with a minimum of 500 hours. It's an alternative path, and it will serve experienced pharmacy technicians who are not in a position to attend a PTCB recognized school. Guys, this is the exciting part. Veterinary assistants that have been in the field for a long time, RVTs that have gone through the education or have been in the field for a long time, you can qualify to sit for this exam under the second option. 500 hours, if you've been working in veterinary medicine for a year, you can qualify to sit and take this exam. So we talked about VTS a few minutes ago. VTS is a great option, but it's also not for everybody. This is a great way to add letters behind your name that in talking with the CVTS board, they told me that they consider CPHT to be a higher level of certification than a VTS in pharmacy would be. Now, let me be clear, there's no VTS in pharmacy yet. There is a group of us that are working on it. But when I heard them say that to me, it really got me excited, because this offers so many career paths. It's going to open you up to a wide variety of laws, rules, regulations, drugs, continuing education, and it's going to open up some career opportunities for you, both in veterinary and human medicine. So really think about this. So certified pharmacy technicians, they also have the ability to specialize. This is so exciting, you guys. Currently, they're offering certifications in compound sterile preparation, certifications in medication history, and certifications in technician product verification. Now, if you're like me, none of those are super duper exciting right now. I mean, maybe the sterile compounding one, but the PTCB sent out a notification a couple of months ago where they mentioned that they're working on a certificate in veterinary pharmacy. Now that does get me excited. One of the things I want to mention is that once you have your your CPHT, you will have to do continuing education as well to maintain it. But the nice thing is you can do it all online. PowerPack CE has a program right now where you can get a veterinary pharmacy certificate with about 20 hours of CE. So there are plenty of veterinary options within the pharmacy world. Now let's talk a minute about, let's say you're passionate about pharmacy and you go get your license. What are your next steps from there? You can get a bachelor's in pharmacy. They call it a B-Pharm. B-Pharm is an undergraduate program. You can absolutely take these classes on campus or online. And then from the bachelor's, it jumps over to doctorate. If you're really passionate about pharmacy, you can go get a doctorate. You would then be called a PharmD. PharmD is a pharmacist. Pharmacist is a doctor of pharmacy. There are programs that are available online, on campus. And then once you're graduated and you've become a pharmacist, there are also veterinary specializations within that field as well. So really exciting stuff. Okay, guys, in conclusion, knowing what goes into the title and career path can help us create relevant pay scales for our teams. Making sure that we use the appropriate and protected titles only with those that have earned it can help create and drive associates to do more and be more. Knowing all of the different career paths that are available to help good associates and keep engaged and keep them moving forward in their career with VCA. Having educated and licensed associates in our hospitals helps improve safety, improves the quality of medicine we can provide, and creates and shares career paths within veterinary medicine for all of us. For more information on veterinary career paths and how to achieve those educational goals we talked about in this presentation, please check out the Veterinary Medical Support Staff Pathways. In that program, I'm going to dive into specific universities, specific schools, and we're just going to talk about how we get you from where you are now to where you want to be. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you got good information out of it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. My name's Fawn. My email is fawn.nyvold@vca.com. And thanks again. Bye, everyone.